Hey y'all, what's up? Big Will here, and welcome back to another episode of our All the Mods 10 Let's Play. So, in today's episode, we're gonna finally get into some serious Evilcraft because we need to automate blood for our runic star altar forge doohickey thingamabobber that we need to make the star. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, got my handy dandy clipboard. I made some notes, so hopefully I don't get distracted. The end game goal, which we may not get there, but we're going to try, is I want to get to the environmental accumulator that you can make yourself because I want to go capture the biome to make this grass purple. Don't ask me why. I want the purple grass, dang it. And it was this really cool looking green, but it wasn't the purple I wanted. So we want to go get that biome. That's not required for, the star. It's just, look, I'm vain. I want my purple grass. Okay. All right. Now that we've gotten that, over with, automating blood. So the main reason we're actually going down this path is for our forge over here, which is going to become a much larger multi-block for the star when we start looking at the runic star altar. And you look in here at the putting that thing down on the ground, it's massive. Where does it show it? Oh yeah, page 2. So this thing is massive. We're talking a huge in-game structure with a lot of pieces from stuff that we haven't gotten into yet. So we're going to work on getting through in the next couple of episodes the rest of the kind of pieces we need to get it automated, because when you break this thing, it loses the resources that are in it. So we need to have all of our blue stuff and blood and everything else all automated, and there's ways to do it, and this is the first step. Shut up, Wooly, and show them something. By the way, I'm sick of these Easter eggs. It's not even Easter yet. But you can eat them, which is oddly satisfying, but also time consuming. So I don't know whether I should just sit here and eat them or, throw them in storage or what. You get an achievement when you get all the colors. All right, let's clear this little bit out of our inventory. We do have one of the things we need to get started, and that is a spike plate. So the spike plate is going to allow us to automate blood via a pedestal, which I'm just going to attempt to. As you can see, I'm looking over here kind of at our existing mob farm. I can turn off the mob slaughter factory and just make it not kill mobs anymore. And we could put these plates right here and just turn this on and have the fans push them onto the plates. And we got blood right here. And if we ever need, more liquid meat or pink slime, we can always just turn this back on and, let it make some more for us. But for right now, we're going to repurpose it for blood. With that said, we need to get started on the base tier. There is a quest line for Evilcraft. If anything I'm doing is something that you aren't up to yet in your world, always check the quest book. And you should know that if you've been watching me, because I live by the quest book too, because I don't know all these mods. So right over here is our quest book. Now we do have this collecting blood. Ragey, Tito's, one of Tito's kids, plays on the server and actually came around and gave everybody blood early on because you get the brooms from the barrels when you first start, and they're like one of the easiest ways to fly in the beginning. So we have some of this achieved, but I have not chased anything really in Evilcraft yet. So we will just kind of work our way through. Right here, collecting blood stains can be done manually, but if we have this pedestal and we put a spike plate on top, this pedestal will automatically collect our blood for us, and then we can pipe out of it. I think the power, I don't know exactly what the powered one does different, but it says we need that for the runic star altar, so that's the goal. So what does it take to make our pedestal? Dark gems, which we've been getting from mining, and dark block, which is just, yep, okay. We should have all those materials. There we go. How many did we need? A few, I don't remember. We'll just put like 6 or 7 in our inventory, and then let's go look at the sangped. There we go. Sweet. So I don't know. I'm going to make like 3 of them because those mobs don't ever sit in the center like they're supposed to. And then spiked plates. Do we have any extra of those? No. But can we make a couple more? Because I already made one. Cool. So that gives us 3 of those with 3 of the pedestals. Let's go see if we can get these set up in our mob farm And, you know, we can just get some blood for free out of something we already have set up. So we'll just go like right here with these 3. And then we will put our pedestals in and put our spike plates on top. Doesn't hurt me, but also that's weird. The spike plate is blocking the fan pushing, but that should still be fine. Let's turn the fans on for this way and that way. Turn on the spawner and let's see how this stuff works. Go ahead and take out this dirt here. And we're probably going to want an axe to get into the floor. Because we're probably going to want to pipe out of the bottom of these. Oh, are we going to get mob drops? We're going to have to put like a backpack with a pickup upgrade over here. Oh, wow, look at that. We got blood. Okay, so now if we were to take a fluid pipe out of our backpack, we should be able to pipe this blood out into some form of tank. So we need a wrench. You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a ball. Okay. And then we should be able to put a fluid drawer. I think we can put blood into a fluid drawer. We should be able to put a fluid drawer right here and have the blood go into it. Bum, bum, bum. Nice. Love it when the plan comes together. All right, there were some of y'all out there just yelling at me on your screen that I needed a magnet upgrade. Yep, you're right. I needed a magnet upgrade. That's why it wasn't working. And then so we also threw in a tank upgrade. This will allow it to pick up the levels of experience. We may need to toss a void upgrade in this if we intend to leave the setup running for blood, just so that we don't have a bunch of experience orbs floating around on the ground and creating a bunch of lag. The last thing we need are some stack upgrades for it, right? Stack, isn't that what they're called? Stack, yep, there we go. And we should be able to just, oh, look at that. There's 2 of the top tier already made. So you can only put 2 stack upgrades into any of them, I do believe, is the max, because that's what we have in everything else. So this thing now should just sit here. It should collect us a bunch of experience, so we have like an alternate place where experience is coming in. And as you can see already, 149 buckets of blood, which aren't, I don't know that they're it's the right kind of blood yet for over there, but we shall see. And it's working perfect. We're getting exactly what we need. We could even probably just let the mob slaughter factory run, and it would kind of split the blood between them if we get to the point where we need more liquid meat or more pink slime. Let's look at the clipboard and see how far we've gotten. So, Evilcraft, automating blood, spike plate, we talked about those, the powered pedestal. Okay, so to get to the powered pedestal, we have to start infusing our dark gems with blood. That is kind of the next progression in the Evilcraft. It takes us right down here. So we need to dry some blood. So if you place a bucket of blood on the ground long enough or in a drying basin, it will harden into hardened blood. We're going to do the drying basin from, I think the integrated dynamics one works. Let's see, is there a specific one for Evilcraft? No, it's just the ID one. So this is a cheap craft. And then we can toss this down and grab us out a bucket. Pull a bucket out of this. Oh, and we can link this to our storage too now. You gonna let me take a bucket? There we go. All right. So, bucket of blood. We let this dry. There we have it. Tidied up our farm a little and turned it off so we don't have to listen to it. And now we have one piece of dried blood, hardened blood. We can take this hardened blood and break it up into shards, I do believe. It's if we place it down and we break it with our hand. Nope, that just turns it back into blood. All right, how do we turn it into shards? And aside from being incredibly unsanitary or whatever, this will turn back into blood in the rain or we're breaking with regular tools. If you break it with flint and steel, we get blood shards. See, if I'd have just read the quest, I wouldn't have wasted that one. But you wouldn't have gotten to laugh at me as I did it the wrong way. So if we break it with flint and steel, the pickup upgrade on the backpack picked it up, but there are our blood shards. So we could even automate this here too If we wanted to, we could pipe out of that in there, but I think we want to keep most of this blood that way. So what I'll probably do is make a little separate setup real quick for this. There you have it. Basic little hardened blood setup for our Evilcraft. And then we just pull out the hardened blood, break it with our flint and steel, and we get our shards for anything we need shards for. Infusing our gems happens in the blood infuser. The blood infuser requires a blood infusion core, which is why we needed the shards. How do we get a dark power gem without the infuser? Read the quest, Wooly. You just told them to read the quest. So to get our dark power gems, we will need to collect at least 5 buckets worth of blood in a blood extractor and make a hole with at least 5 blocks of space and then fill it with blood. Once you've created your pool, toss in a dark gem. Oh, okay, this is expensive, but we got plenty of blood. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we need 5 buckets of blood. 5. So now if we take a dark gem, which we should have plenty of in storage still, and we toss it in. Presto. Those are expensive. Holy moly. Thank goodness we only need the one to make the infusion core. So that thing, right? Well, if you click on the right thing, Wooly. There we go. And then now with our infusion core, we can make our blood infuser, and it does not cost us 5 buckets of blood per dark power gem anymore. I do believe that it is just 1 bucket of blood per dark power gem. Now, we're going to need this blood other places, so you guessed it. We need to link and lock this new drawer so that we can see it from wherever we want. So lock it and link it, and now we have access to blood in AE2. So blood. Look at that. 180.96 buckets worth of liquid blood accessible in AE2. For the blood infuser, we're probably just going to want some channels somewhere. Let me get a spot picked out. All right, here we are. Brought some cable over by the mob farm over here, and we have channels, fresh set of 32. Got nothing else on it. Device online. Everything looks good to go. Got us a dense cable for the start right here, and we just need to bring out, a few pieces. All we're going to do for the first one is we're going to get the blood infuser in here. There. Sweet. And then we will come down with some smart cable, and we are going to put an export bus and put blood into this thing. I don't think it's sighted. We will find out in a second. If it gets to the point where we are, like doing more than one thing in here at a time or need it auto-crafted, we'll see if we can pattern provide it. But for now, we're going to do it this way. So Evilcraft blood. Do you fill with blood? Yes, you do. Look at that. All right, some acceleration cards, because that is slower than molasses on a cold day. There we go. Now we're full of blood in the infuser. Sweet. Which means that to make our gems, we can just toss these in here, and it's going to infuse them up for us automatically and pull the blood that we're making or made over here into our system. So we've got 171 buckets. I don't know how much we're going to need. I am going to turn this farm back on in just a minute, but that is the blood infuser, and there are our dark gems being made. We are going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a dark gem block, which can be made 2 different ways. A dark block and then infused, or it can be made out of 9 infused. So it's probably easier to make our 5 and then infuse a block. Now, can we break those blocks down into the gems? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. We'll go look it up. So I'm going to let this finish. I'm going to take one of those dark blocks, which is just the base stones that we made some of earlier. These, look, they can be broke down. The base ones can be broke down. So it's probably a smarter thing to do it this way. We'll just infuse all the blocks, and then we can break the block down into the dark gem form to craft them into dark gems going forward. We have the 5 we need for our pedestal, our powered pedestal that we need for the forge. I don't remember where we needed it for the runic star altar, but it talked about it somewhere. So I'll be right back when this is done. All right, dark power, dark gem block done. Now we need to take one of our basic pedestals from our farm, and we should be able to upgrade it to the next tier up. So we'll just take the one here in the middle. The backpack picked all that up. And now we should be able to make a powered pedestal, which we can still place the spike plate right on top of. We are going to have to get in there to wrench that again, but not a problem. We might even be able to see it through the hole. Nope. Where is our axe? And then we need our wrench. There we go. So a powered pedestal, I don't necessarily know the difference, but we will see how it goes. Does it need power? I mean, it doesn't have like a energy bar, and that power didn't connect to it. So don't know what the difference is. Maybe it collects more blood or something. It probably told us somewhere if I read the quest book. Let's see. Auto blood. Here we go. We got our spawner, and then how do we get blood from them? We can use spikes from them, but if we want blood from them, we should use a powered pedestal with spike plates on top. When on top and spike plates deal damage, the more health, the more blood you get. The blood will be in fluid form and can be moved from the pedestal to our forge. Well, we were already getting it, so unless it's a different type of blood, which I don't think it is, but we'll see. So that should be good to go. Let's turn it back on and make sure it works the same as the other ones did. Blood is coming in the exact same form. I don't even see that it holds anymore. I'm not sure there's a difference. If you know, put it in the comments below. But there we have it. We made it to the one that Questline told us to, and we also got automatic blood going with the base tier one. So, you know, do with that information as you see fit. Oh, look, it gives us an extra one. Nice. All right. Now, this is going to be next episode, and this is likely going to be next episodes. We have kind of already started down the roads of both of these. Just got to wrap them up to get our automated resources we need for the forge. We already have fluid and XP form coming in multiple ways. We are getting it from this where we're getting the blood from, actually. So it is no problem at all that, oh, look at that. Liquid experience in the backpack. I did not mean to do that. Right click the backpack with something other than a bucket. There we go. We should be able to bucket this in. There. Now. So yeah, we've got liquid XP here. We've also got liquid XP already in the system in the form of our dire pedestal, although I don't know that we have it coming out of that pedestal in liquid form anywhere else, so we might just tie this backpack in or tie that in. I don't know. We'll do it. We will do that later. So, get on task, Willie, because there's something fun you wanted to get to. Blood infuser, powered pedestal, done. Environmental accumulator. So, to get to the environmental accumulator in Evilcraft, it is way over here. We got to get all the way to make the Garmonbosia thingamajig, which is like in-game for this. To get started with that, we need to make promises. So to make a promise acceptor, we just put an iron block in our blood infuser. Simple enough. So iron in here. Bam. Now these are how we upgrade the machines. This is the first one for the blood infuser. I don't remember exactly what it does. I want to say it makes it faster, maybe? Question mark? Maybe it tells us in the book. To do this, we want to create the promise of tenacity. This will just increase the storage capacity of a machine. So promise of tenacity tier 1, it increases the storage. For the blood infuser, this will unlock more recipes because some recipes take more than the 10 buckets of blood that this will hold. So let's look at the uses on this. We need spider's eye and a bowl of promises. Does it walk us through that anywhere in here? No. So what is the bowl of promises? How do we get that? A dusted bowl of promises, crushed dark gems, and a bowl of empty promises, which is those. Okay, cool. All stuff we've already made together. We're going to break down one of these to this. We make a bowl shape out of it. Bowl of empty promises. Put the 2 dark gems there. Now we have the dusted bowl. And then we need a spider's eye, which we should be able to just craft up, which we already had. And then we go to uses on this. And now we should be able to do that. Nope, we got to do this. Oh, yes, we've got to make it tier 0. So get it back out of your... Dude, gosh dang it, dusted. I stuck it in storage. Okay. Put that in there, and I'll be back when it's done converting. There we have it. Dusted Bowl of Promises, Tier 0. Into the crafting grid it goes. Promise of Tenacity, Tier 1. And this makes our machine hold 40 buckets of blood now, meaning we can do new recipes. All right, so with the Promise of Tenacity in there, now we can put 40 buckets of blood into a block of gold to get our next one. I figured out my gold problem. I had put a recipe in like a dummy for netherite ingots, and it was auto-crafting them using my gold. I did that because we used a bunch of netherite, and I ran out of the netherite that I had from my seeds, and I just forgot to take the pattern out. So now our gold problem is solved, and this should start to fill that up. I'll be back when it's done. Oh, wait, I don't have to be back. What am I talking about? Let's just zippity-doo-dah it. Yeah. There we go. So now we're going to have to make, what is it? Dusted Bowl of Promises, the next tier, probably for this. So it'll use a tier 1, 2, or 3, which is just another one of these. We ought to make a pattern for this and that and this. So there's that, and we have our Dusted Bowl of Promises that we're going to need for the next tiers that we can create, but we toss this one in now to get our Tier 1. There's our Dusted Bowl of Promises Tier 1. And now we should be able to make our Tenacity Pearl Thingamajig Tier 2. Whatever it is. There we go. And I do believe we just toss it in here also. Usable in Blood Infuser. Do I have to take the Tier 1 out? There we go. Yep. And now we can hold 160 buckets of blood in the infuser. And you guessed it. The next tier, guess what? It is diamond. So we're going to do the same thing to a block of diamond. I don't guess you guys want to see it a third time, so I'll be back when it's done. I went ahead and made up our third tier bowl, same process as before, and now we should be able to just go to uses here. We already know how to make Eyes of Ender, and there is our Promise of Tenacity Tier 3. Pull it out, add that one in, and now it holds 640 buckets of blood, which I don't even know if we have that much. It's probably going to take our whole stash. Yep, we will be out of blood, but it will hold 64 buckets when we're done. Now, this last one, the Garmonbosia, we have to kill a Vengeance Spirit. The only way you see a Vengeance Spirit is with the ring, wherever it talks about that. Spirits, over here. So we need to make the ring, which we can turn on and then see spirits. The ring is just the crushed dark gem, which we get from our crusher guy we already made. How do we turn on the Vengeance ring? Is it like shift right click it? Oh, yep, shift right click it. Okay, so we don't even have to wear it in a slot. And it should give us what we need to be able to see the spirits, right? We can make our own little mobs right here with this spawner. Hit them and hope that we see a Vengeance Spirit, which we can't kill. Do I need a different thing to kill him? How do I kill you? All right, so when in doubt, refer to a mod pack's book, Vengeance Spirits. After monsters die, we can see them. Yep, activating the rings gives you a mate, but it seems to attract some spirits, although none of these seems whatever. You basically can't kill them without a different ring. So a Vengeance Focus allows you to capture them in a container, and then where is it? The Vengeance, there is a thing. It's piercing, it said. Let's see. Well, it's in the, I looked it up, okay? So, Vengeance. This one right here. Piercing Vengeance Focus will allow us to kill them. In order to get there, we need blood orbs. We need to make empty orbs times 2. We go infuse these in our infuser with blood. Lots of blood in this pack. There's 2. Sorry for the mob farm, but we need to let it run so we can fill up on some blood again. So now that we have that, we should be able to craft the piercing vengeance focus. You needed to craft the vengeance focus first, which the recipe for is just more iron with the ring in the middle. So nothing you guys needed to see, but in case you were wondering. And then if we look at the uses on the vengeance focus, it takes end crystals, which we know how to make, pop chorus fruit, which we know how to make, and now we have the piercing vengeance focus. Same as before, I think we can right click it to turn it on. Yep. Yep, and we just shoot it at them. So let's go kill one. And give me a vengeance spirit. Oh, I need a ring to see them still. Okay, so we need another ring. Vengeance ring. Learning with Wooly. Okay. Now we can see them. And then we can kill them with that. All right, I think we killed one. Let's try this one. Yeah. And with that, we got a vengeance essence. Yay! Oh gosh, there's stuff everywhere. Let's turn this thing off again. And then we can kill these guys. I don't know if we got another one, but we got tons of loot. There's that. Let's see what all the backpack picked up too. Oh, look at that. 3 vengeance spirits in the backpack. So we definitely killed more than one with the ring. There we go. Now, for the Garmonbosia, it is a materialized vengeance essence, which we just wrap in crushed dark gems, and then we're going to infuse it with a lot of blood. I don't know how much. We will see when we get in there. So let's put up this stuff that has cluttered our inventory. As a matter of fact, we can just put all of it up except the thing we need. We'll go to the uses on that, make our materialized vengeance essence, and fill it with blood. How much blood do it take? Uses. It takes 50 buckets, so plenty of blood in there for it. There's our Garmonbosia. And now, we're going to need to go break an environmental accumulator in the world so that we can get the core from it, and we should be able to craft up everything we need to go capture our biome. Breaking those takes forever. Oh my goodness. But there we have it. I'm going to pick up this waystone so that I don't think that there's one here and then come here and there's not one here and then I'm all sad and disappointed. So we're actually not too far from base. We can just fly our way home. And there is our environmental accumulation core, which we can use with our Garmonbosia we just got to make an environmental accumulator, which should, if I understand it correctly, allow me to capture biomes, right? But I'm not 100% on that, so we're going to have to go read the book real quick and see if we can figure that out. All right, well, the book, for what I want to use it for, kind of useless, but looks like we can figure it out from here. So the biome extract bottle from Evilcraft, super simple craft, stuff we've already done, crushed dark gems. You get biome extract bottles, same as your weather accumulator bottles, where we can capture rain and sunshine and all of that stuff. Except the way I understand this to work is we are going to be able to capture biomes, which is what I want to try to do. So it requires blood. This only requires 50 buckets, but it says it needs dark tanks in all the locations that's shown, or any kind of tank for blood. And it looks like it needs 8 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and craft up 8 dark tanks. I'm going to make sure I've got a fluid tank with 50 buckets worth of blood in it. And we're going to go see if we can get the biome for the purple grass to wrap up today's episode. All right, here we are in the Eternal Starlight. We're going to see if we can by somehow get the biome from here and make our grass purple at our base. That's the goal. I think it's supposed to be possible. I don't claim to know all this. I'm just trying to figure it out. So I'm going to toss down a feral flare lantern, so hopefully we'll be able to see here in a minute. As you can see, once we place down the environmental accumulator, we can place tanks where the smoke is. That's what it says in the book. We're going to need some kind of soil. We'll just borrow a piece of dirt from here. Put one more tank there. And then these should just get some blood. So I think they each only hold 16 buckets. But that should allow us to then put in a bottle. Tanks with blood are required at those locations. Let's see what happens. Now, how we use this bottle, that's a whole other story too. I don't know is the answer. Contains Starlight Forest. Okay. We're going to leave it here in case we need more of this, because I don't know how big of an area it covers or anything like that. Let's just toss down a waystone, even though we do have one really close, but just so we don't lose our environmental accumulator thing. Let's head back to base. I don't know. Do I just click it? It worked, y'all. The grass is more blue here than purple. So, I don't know. I might go look around and see if there are other biomes. We're going to need a lot of those bottles in order to transform the grass, but this is amazing. This is exactly what I hoped I could end this episode on. Oh my gosh. I made it work. I'm excited. Look at that. Purple grass. So I'll bring back a bunch of biome. I will get a bunch more of that dirt together, and there will be some transforming going on here. It looks like it even changes. Look at this. It looks like it changes the color sort of on regular grass. So we might have to put down other types of grass to see what it kind of looks like. But we can bring those bottles back, and I can transform the terrain here to match the theme. I can get us some purple grass going. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you were able to learn something. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button, hit the like, ring the bell for notifications, and we'll see y'all next time.